Hey, good morning folks. This is Brent Easton with Easton Farms. I've got the GoPro 8 out this morning and we're going to give this thing a whirl again and see if I can manage to avoid any technical issues or phone ringing. This is about the third time this morning I've tried to take this video and something always happens, seems like. So got my phone shut off this time, and I'd like to give everybody a quick update on the 2021 lambing season. The sheep in general, the dogs, the puppies, and kind of give everybody a whirl look around the farm here and do a little bit of a featurette on this new pond here. So thanks for joining us today, and without further ado, I'll just get right to it. Since I've already got this pond in frame, we'll start with it, I think. This is a brand new pond that I built this spring. There's a great big hill here in the middle of the farm with 20 acres on top of it. So it's a great place to graze sheep. It's kind of high and dry. Not so much when we're getting 10 inches of rain a week, I suppose. But at least it's not swampy in a low-lying area. It drains pretty well, so it's really good on the sheep. The problem is it's a big area. It's hard to cover it very quickly, and water, stock water turns into a real issue up here. So for the first year and a half when I had sheep, I was just carrying water up here with a 5-gallon bucket, or with several. And man, you talk about labor intensive. Well, once we got past like 20 or 25 animals, that just turned into a completely unsustainable project, and I just couldn't keep up. And it was obvious I was going to have to do something else with a growing flock. We had a little bit of a watershed area right here, the only one really on top of the hill that was usable for a pond. And so I built a little pond here this spring, and there's not much watershed area. There's 3 to 4 times maybe the surface area of the pond draining into it, which is okay. It works. We've had enough rain that most ponds in kind of an average area would have been full and overrunning, but this one's only about half full. The good news about that is that it's half full, so we've had usable water all spring in it, and super handy. It's in the perfect spot. I only was able to get about 6.5 feet of water depth to this pond, so that's not ideal, but it's very serviceable. And the main issue with this pond here was that I hit rock in the bottom of it. It wasn't a terrible issue. We had enough clay that I just got on the sides and robbed enough clay that I pushed down in the pond and relined it with about 1 foot of clay. So I had an initial water depth of about 7.5 feet, and I sacrificed about 1 foot there. So that's fine. It's holding like a jug, so I'm not going to complain about that. And very serviceable supply of water for the sheep and the cattle for no longer than we're typically up here. The cattle graze across here in pretty short order, so not too big of a deal. As far as the 2021 lambing season, we are finished with lambing season, and if I can get them in frame here, that's some of them. They're kind of spread out. Everybody is kind of fed up and this morning and already laying down for the most part. So, current count on lambs is, hey, take it easy. One of the puppies got a little too close to the older dog. Come on, you guys. Come on. Always something. Current count for the lambs is stands at 32. We lost 2, which was really unusual and unfortunate, but it happens. And so we've got 30 total live lambs on the hoof on the ground at the moment, and that's been going fine. The 2 that we lost, of those, both were ewe lambs, which was, a second gut punch in and of itself. One was the last born out of a set of triplets. She just wasn't formed right. I suppose they were probably overcrowded in the womb. She didn't really have any motor function in her back end. She had a little bit, I kept her going for a week on a bottle and tried to give her some rehabilitation. That wasn't really working out very well, making very small gains. The last day that I had her, she just went on a downhill spiral, and there really wasn't anything I could do about it. So unfortunate, but pretty unavoidable. The second one that we lost, her mom just stopped giving milk. The vet said that she felt like she's got some scar tissue in her udder, something not right there. So she's probably the first on our cull list. Apparently she can have lambs, she just can't provide milk for them. So by the time I noticed a problem with the babies being hungry and not getting enough food, it was pretty much too late for at least one of them. The other one grafted on to a first-year ewe with one lamb, and she's doing fine. I noticed the problem right at dark one night. I saw the one that we lost was getting a drink out of a mud puddle. You know, immediate red flag. They should get all the water that they need from mama's milk. It was right at dark. I thought, well, they'll probably be fine till morning. I'll build a little catch pen in the morning here and see what's going on with them. And we had a full night of cold rain, and I suppose she was just malnourished enough. She just wasn't strong enough to take it. So found her the next morning, and that one was probably avoidable. If I'd have jumped on that immediately that night and started her on a bottle, I might have been able to save her. So some of that's on me, but you know, they're a fairly small, kind of skinny animal when they're really young anyway, and you really can't monitor body condition or loss of condition because they're already small and skinny. In a case like that, they were still nursing or trying to. I really didn't have any way of knowing that they weren't really getting any milk until that red flag popped up, and by then it was really pretty much too late. So I guess the lesson to be learned from that is if you've got a gut feeling that something's wrong, you know, jump on it right then and there, because you may not get a second chance. Lambs are, in a lot of ways, they're really tough, but they're still pretty fragile, especially when it comes to food. So as long as you can keep some warm milk in their bellies, they're pretty hardy, but that's their major weakness. If they're not getting enough food, they're just not going to last. And they need to be mobile in the case of that first one. So it's unfortunate, but I've had sheep since late 2019, and those are the first two lambs that we've lost. So I'm really ahead of the odds, so to speak, I guess. So you know, it's a gut punch and it's hard to take, but it's livestock, it happens. You just kind of roll with the punches and move on and try to do better. So anyway, our forage is doing really good this year. We've had a lot of rain, and everything's kind of exploded and, you know, kind of gotten ahead of us. It's just gonna happen every year. 352 acres on the farm, and we're currently at 52 sheep for the flock total numbers. That includes the lambs that were born back in February. They're doing great, and the two ram lambs that I kept back from last year. So 52 total on the flock count. And I guess I might as well give you a quick spin around here. We're still under 10 minutes. Give everybody a view of the hilltop here. So the farm's looking really beautiful this year. We've made really good gains on the regenerative grazing aspect of everything. Forages look fantastic. We're beating the briars back. They're looking, what ones we have aren't looking very good. And the sheep are taking care of those. Our Ceresia, we seem to be gaining on it, and everybody's hitting it pretty hard, so it looks really good. So yeah, I think that's about everything that I wanted to cover in the update today. So I'm going to cut this off just as we hit about 10 minutes. I'll bid everybody a good day and hope everybody has a good day, and I'll catch everybody in the next video. So we'll see you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.